Hello, everybody, and welcome to Full Court MACtion, a half hour of the coaches and players who make Mid-American Conference basketball so exciting. The Toledo Rockets are used to outstanding guard play. Sophia Wired and Quenisha Lockett are recent examples, and it appears sophomore Cadence Dykstra is ready to continue the legacy of outstanding floor generals for Toledo. Dykstra didn't play a lot last year as a freshman, but when Jeannie Bogus turned over the reins to her this season, the sophomore has responded like a true Rocket.
When you take a player who's as tough-nosed and as gritty and as hardworking as she is, and you throw at him, all of a sudden you're just going to hand him the ball and send him out here in our opening game again, with 4,500 fans. She has this calm exterior. She never looks rattled.
Nice job there by Dykstra.
Yeah, it was definitely an adjustment, but just learning behind someone like Soph, and I think just bringing over kind of the culture that I had in high school and just bringing it here, and also learning the culture here, the blue-collar gold standard, obviously.
We are so lucky to have not only a human being like Cadence Dykstra, but a player like her who embodies all of the things that matter to me: toughness, discipline, excellence.
Dykstra into the shot clock, yes!
A big shot.
It was funny, at some point her confidence was wavering just a little. And I grabbed her after practice and I was like, I just want to remind you, we're like 12-3 with you as our starting point guard. And I'm not sure why you aren't confident out there. And she just looked at me and was like, oh yeah. She cares so much. Like, her passion for this team and to help us win and to help us get it right and to help, elevate her teammates is it's just absolutely infectious.
I really just want to do anything that helps us win. So on any given night, whether that's rebounds or, stepping and being physical and setting a screen on a 5-player.
Dykstra had to take it away.
Just really anything can do for sure to win.
I hope Team Toledo knows that they've got a fearless leader out there representing Toledo and will do anything to help us be our best.
Next season, the Rockets will be a 2 Dykstra team. Alicia, Cadence's younger sister, will join the Rockets. She's ranked as one of the top players in the state of Michigan, and Big Sis can't wait to share the court with her again.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I feel like a few weeks ago, Coach was talking about kind of having a dude on the team, which is just somebody that you can go to and knows you inside and out. And obviously great players on this team as well, but just to have your sister, I feel like it's something different. So we just have a different connection.
Rockets are 9-3 in MAC play and have a date with first place Ball State coming up. We'll have more on that game a little bit later in the show. With people celebrating their Valentine's Day this past weekend, we asked the players in the Mid-American Conference, what do you love about MAC basketball?
I like the environment of MAC basketball. It's super competitive. The MAC fans go crazy.
How competitive it is every night, and you got to show out and just, how everybody, takes it serious, and it's not just any mid-major, conference. It's really one of the best.
How unpredictable it can be. I think what's so fun after a Wednesday night game or Saturday game is checking the scores and seeing just shocking scores, things that just you wouldn't expect to happen just because each team is so competitive, and it really depends on what night it is.
I got a lot of people from my hometown in the MAC, so it just feels like it's rivalry all around, and it's just fun to play in this.
My favorite thing about MAC basketball is that everyone has a chance to win, everyone's on an even playing field, and there's a lot of versatility among the conference.
Just the intensity, the intensity, I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout. When we return, we talk to Ohio's men's coach, Jeff Bowles. Full Court MACtion will be right back. Stay with us. We continue to push the pace on Full Court MACtion. Time to turn our attention to the men's side of things. Let's welcome in the head coach of the Ohio Bobcats, Jeff Bowles. Jeff, you've had some guys that were banged up. A.J. Clayton, Aiden Hadaway missed a lot of time. Clayton is back. How nice is it to get him back, and what has he meant to this team?
Yeah, I think, when you go through a season, Dave, you're going to, battle injuries, and it's part of the game. But we've had to kind of reinvent ourselves multiple times throughout the course of a season. Early in the year, we lost Sharif Mitchell. I think we've had our full roster for 9 games, out of the, 23 plus that we played. And, it's difficult because, you have guys in different roles that they maybe haven't practiced a whole lot in or aren't used to. And, when somebody goes out, others got to step up. We went through a stretch where we lost Elmore James for a couple games, lost Aiden Hadaway at the Akron game. Next game, we lost A.J. Clayton for a few games. So, we've been battling through it, and, hopefully, we just try to take care of our bodies as much as we can, be as healthy as we can heading into March.
When you go through that, if you come out the other end, what benefit do you get that you've had to play so many guys in so many different roles?
Yeah, I think there is a positive to it, right? The guys are stepping into a different role that they're not used to, that they have to play. You might have to play. We have AJ Sheldon playing the four sometimes. He's 6'2", and the depth of it, and hopefully we get healthy enough where all those things help in the long run.
Now, we've seen on social media you celebrating with your team and having a good time when you win. How important is that to have that relationship with those guys that go out and fight every night?
Yeah, I haven't celebrated as much as we wanted to, but I think it's fun. When I was at Robert Morris and Mark Schmidt, we'd win a game and we'd celebrate it. And he always used to say, you never know when the next one's coming because it's so hard to win. And I think, even if you win by 1 point, sometimes you feel like you lost and you're defeated and deflated, but it's hard to win. And I think the process and what these young men go through on a daily basis, from film to practice to rehab to, weights to classes, there's a lot that goes into it. So when you do win, I've always, been taught and, learned to celebrate them. So that's what we do.
So 7-5 in MAC play, 13-12 overall. We've already mentioned you've been banged up and beat up. 3 of your MAC losses are by 4 points or less to some of the top teams: Toledo, Kent State, Miami. What do you want to see from the team the final 6 games of the regular season? And how proud are you of the fight?
Yeah, we've always battled and fought. I think our guys, like I said, losing Clayton, and he's not 100%. He's probably not even 75%. But Hadaway was our energy guy. He was our best rebounder. He was an inside-out tough matchup. So I think for us, these last 6 games, just continue to build. For March, be playing our best basketball. And like you mentioned, we lost a lot of close games. And I think when you lose certain players, your margin for error goes down. Every possession matters. And this is a tough league. You look at Central Michigan, who we play tomorrow night. They've lost a lot of close games as well. And, we have to look back at one possession, a missed block out, a late rotation, a foul that we, might not want to commit. We just want to keep building. So I think our teams have always played our best basketball heading into March, and that's what we're building these last 6 games.
Coach Jeff Bowles from Ohio, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck as you battle to the road to Cleveland here.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Time to take a look at the updated Road to Cleveland standings. The Akron Zips have clinched a spot in Cleveland in the MAC tournament. Miami now 2 games back, but still holding on to their 2nd seed. The Rockets are 8-4 and in 3rd place. Kent State and the Ohio Bobcats tied at 7-5. That brings us to our game of the week on the men's side of things. Kent State travels to Oxford to face the Redhawks. Golden Flashes have won 4 straight, but will now have to go on the road for 4 of their next 5 games. Miami had a 5-game winning streak, then fell to Western Michigan last time out. This showdown will take place Friday night, 8 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Time for us to take another timeout. When we come back, Central Michigan women's coach Kristen Haney joins the show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We continue to push the tempo on full court MACtion. Let's turn our attention back to the women's side of things, and let's welcome in Kristen Haney. She's the head coach for the Central Michigan Chippewas. Coach Jess Lawson, a triple-double last week, now it's almost 2 weeks ago, against the Bobcats. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. You start 2 freshmen. How important has that senior Jess Lawson's leadership been for your team?
She's been great, and for somebody to get 10 rebounds at her size is just effort. And so we talk about how rebounds are 50-50 balls. It's just effort. It's going to have a want to. And that's what she does. You know, she has no fear and she goes in there. And so it's her part of having an eye for the ball, seeing where it goes off from the rim. But also what I'm impressed with about her as the season's gone on, you know, we spend a lot of time watching film. And so she's continuing to get those point guard visions going. She's used to playing off the ball. And with our personnel this year, we've had to have her play on the ball and bring the ball up and run our team a little bit too. So just growing up and being at the JUCO level and Division II level, she's used to having the ball in her hands as a scorer, not necessarily creating and being a playmaker. So for her to get 10 assists is awesome, because that just sees the growth and the development of her game and of who she is, just continuing to be coachable and being a sponge and wanting to get better.
Coaches always want to see growth from their team. You mentioned 2 freshmen start. Have you seen the growth from when we started in November to where we are now in early February, mid-February?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you want. You want to just continue to stick with the process. And nowadays we all want instant gratification. But especially in sports, you know, we have to really stick with the process and just believe in what you want to do and continue to stick with what you believe in. And the players have done that. You know, they're buying in, and we have a really young team. So we knew we weren't going to be great in November, and we still haven't reached our potential. So when we reach it, you know, we're going to be dangerous to play, and we are dangerous. I know teams are scared of us, and that's what we want. Put the fear in them. I feel like we're better than our record. We're just a little bit young with less experience, but now it's the February fight, we say. And our freshmen have gotten a lot of minutes, and players who haven't played at this level are getting a lot of minutes too. So, you know, now it's everyone's hurt, everyone's tired at this point in the season. So who's going to be mentally tougher and stronger to keep winning?
So you mentioned 5-7, so still time left to stack some wins. You're right in the mix to make it to Cleveland. What do you want to see from this team, the final stretch of the regular season, trying to get into that tournament and get a better positioning in that tournament?
We talk about our consistency, and on the defensive end, primarily, you know, we want to dictate, and we don't want the offense to dictate us. So we got to get better defensively and being more consistent on that end. But our Achilles heel has been our turnovers this year. So continuing to just keep it simple, you know, make the easy pass and not let teams speed us up. And, you know, and some of that is the youth, you know, players, even at the junior college level, or Jess Lawson came from Division II. You know, they haven't played at this level. The MAC's an awesome conference, a great conference, and you're playing against really good players every night. So just continuing to try and keep it simple. We don't want to give the other team, you know, easy points off our turnovers, and that's what's been getting us a little bit this year.
Before I let you go, you were a first-round pick, 9th overall in the WNBA. What do you think about the WNBA's expansion?
Yeah, I love it. I think there's a lot of players that aren't on WNBA teams. And so for, you know, teams that continuing to cities, investors continuing to invest in women's basketball and grow the game. I mean, that's where it starts. And to have players have the opportunity to play in the best league, you know, in the world is such an amazing feeling, amazing accomplishment to play against the best players in the world. And so I love it. You know, I still stay in touch with some players that are playing overseas, and it would be awesome for them to, you know, get this opportunity to play in the WNBA. But just anybody in general, there's people getting cut that should be on a roster. So really excited, you know, with the growth where women's basketball is going, the exposure that we've gotten. So I'm excited for our future.
Kristen Haney, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it. Best of luck to the Chippewas as they fight on the road to Cleveland.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
For the road to Cleveland standings on the women's side of things, Ball State has guaranteed their trip to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and still unbeaten in Mid-American Conference play. Buffalo and Toledo, both 3 games back at 9-3. Kent State is 8-4, and the Miami Redhawks are 7-5. Our women's game of the week takes place at 7 p.m. Wednesday in Toledo. The Rockets host 12-0 Ball State. The Cardinals continue to be led by Becky Hammond, Mid-Major Player of the Year semifinalist Allie Becky. Toledo has won 6 games in a row and will look to avenge their last loss, which came at the hands of the Cardinals on January 20th. We're going to take our final timeout. On the other side of the break, we'll be joined by Eastern Michigan men's head coach Stan Heath. Full Court MACtion will be right back. Full Court MACtion continues to push the tempo. We welcome in Stan Heath, head coach of the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Stan, appreciate the time. You've got a couple of guys who have transferred in from DePaul and are having really good seasons. Deshaun Nelson, Jalen Terry, both averaging right around 16 points a game. Terry scored 38 last time out. How much have those two guys meant to what Eastern Michigan has been able to do so far this season?
Well, those are two of our key pieces. I don't think most of our games are going to be decided by your better players, and those are two of our best players, with Chris Henry having a really good season as well too. Anytime you have new players, transfers, it does take a little bit of adjustment to a system, them to get comfortable. And I do feel like as the season has progressed, each has kind of figured things out, how the league is, how to play against certain teams, but also how to be effective in what they do.
So team's fun to watch. You have a bunch of highlight reel type stuff. How much have you seen the team grow from November when you first started playing to here we are middle of February?
Quite a bit, and it's actually one of the conversations I've had with our team is I've always felt even 5-10 games back, this team had way more upside and weren't really playing where they could be. We probably played our best basketball game our last game against Toledo. We played a really good game against Old Dominion as well too. But you can see the growth in different areas. One, our defense has improved, our turnover numbers have gone down, and our fouls have gone down as well too. And those were the 3 areas I think that were really bothering us, making us kind of this up and down team, win one, lose one, whatever, back and forth, where we're getting a little bit more consistent because we're being more consistent in those areas.
So what are we seeing on the court when Eastern's playing the way you want them to play, which obviously is the key to success?
Well, you're seeing an aggressive defensive team that's causing disruption for the other team, making them feel a little bit uncomfortable. You're also seeing us playing in transition, whether it's 3-on-2s, up-tempo basketball, early actions when the defense isn't quite set, a lot of pick and rolls, good spacing, and good ball movement.
Currently sitting in the 7th spot as far as the men's standings go. What do you want to see from your team the final 6 games of Mid-American play? What's kind of the message to them moving forward?
Well, we do control our destiny, so we've got to do our part. I think the most important thing is to keep building on what we're doing. The message is, every game is important. Let's be ready to play. Let's make sure that we prepare correctly. Let's make sure when the game is being played that we're mentally locked in. We have great togetherness out there on the court, and we're doing all the little things, all the things in the details that matter to help you win basketball games.
Stan Heath, appreciate the time. Best of luck as you fight through these last 6 games to get to Cleveland in that Mid-American Conference tournament. Appreciate the time, Coach.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it too.
From the Eastern Michigan men to the Eastern Michigan women this week, our tournament time capsule highlights the 2012 Eagles. The 2nd seed Eastern Michigan Eagles led the 5th seed Central Michigan Chippewas by 1 point late in the second half. However, Central Michigan's Crystal Bradford hit the left-handed shot with 14.6 seconds left on the clock. And then Eastern Michigan immediately turned the ball over. On the next inbounds, the Eagles fouled and sent Jessica Green to the line for a 1-and-1. She would miss. Natasha Watkins would rebound, and here's the finish.
Has read it. Read it for the win and rolled it in. 1 minute, 1.5 seconds left to go. Central with a last chance. Baker, not in time. Eastern is headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 8 years as the number 2 seed will go dancing.
Paige Reddit lays it in with 1.5 seconds left, and the Eagles win the MAC championship. Tavelyn James for Eastern Michigan was the MVP. Before we go, time to take a look at those plays that made us go ooh and ah one last time. It's time for the plays of the week.
He gives it to Elmer. Elmer will drive to the basket, dunk it with one hand. Tomahawk style dunk, and he'll get the and one.
Found as well.
McWhorter dribbles into trouble and leads to a Buffalo run out. Cornfield with Bobcat chasing, scores inside, counted and a foul.
Obo spins around the defender and throws it down. Tim Obo has a chance at a three-point play.
Oh my, oh my.
Watson now 2 of 3. Here's Watkins. Nice spin, goes to the opposite hand. What a finish right there.
Who wants to be the hero? Fat Hair runs! Oh yes! Oh my Lanta!
Otter got stripped. Willis saved it to Strickland. And now Chauncey's racing ahead. Oh my goodness! Javon Hanna!
That'll do it for us on this week's edition of Full Court MACtion. Join us same time, same place next week for the best in Mid-American Conference basketball. Have a good night, everybody. See you next week.